Good evening. What is up, flying filmmakers? We are ready to roll here. Decided to do a live Q&A for all of you on my email list and YouTube channel. Drop comment in the chat there if you have audio, have video, can hear what we're doing here. Make sure everything is working. Starting to see some comments coming in here. So we're going to go ahead and get started here very shortly. Actually do these kind of Q&As every other week for the students in my Flying Filmmaker course. We actually have them live on Zoom. So you can just directly zoom in, ask questions. I go through and review your videos. If you want to send in videos, I can review them, give feedback, all that kind of stuff. We do that inside the course, which actually is on sale right now. If you go to, I'll put the link up on screen here real quick, flyingfilmmakersale.com. You can join for 40% off, ends tonight at midnight Eastern time. Anyway, guys, talk more about that later, but start dropping your questions in the chat and we'll start answering them here. While you guys are dropping your questions in the chat, what has been going on here with Flying Filmmaker lately? So, most recent thing is I broke my Avata 2. If you look here, see if we can get the camera to focus on it. There we go. So you can see it is missing a motor. Was up over the weekend at an event, camp meeting event. We were out and I was just flying the drone around having a good time. Clipped the ground with it a little bit. And I must have broken off the motor when I clipped the ground because I just lost control of it, started flying backwards. There's nothing I could do because I lost the back motor here, so the forward motors were still spinning, so it just was flying backwards. Hit a tree, battery popped out. Some kids were watching, they found the battery for me, thankfully. But I do have DJI care on it, so it's just going back to DJI for a little fix-up. And speaking of Avatas, there is, if any of you have been following the DJI leaks, which I follow fairly closely, they've leaked basically all the information on a new drone. It's actually going to be a really low-end target market drone, somewhere between $300 and $350 for the kit with it, according to the leaks. Anyway, really low-end targeted drone with a similar camera to the Avata here, and will be compatible with the goggles and FPV remotes. You'll actually be able to fly FPV with it. It's going to shoot 4K, half-inch sensor. It's going to be only 135 grams and has propeller guards over the props, which means it should be legal for flights over people here in the US with the FAA, which would be really nice to have a little FPV drone that is legal for that. So, yeah, that is some of what's been going on. I'm probably going to get one of those and review it, maybe compare it to some higher end drones, see what the difference is, and it'll be nice to have a really even smaller little Cinewoop drone. All right, and I've actually got a whole bunch of FPV footage that I don't think anyone has seen on my YouTube channel. I've sprinkled a little bit of it into videos, but a whole bunch of footage from out in Idaho. Was out in Idaho last month, so I need to get all that edited and posted for you guys. All right, let's see. Looks like we've still got a good connection here. Sorry if the stream is a little low quality. I have a terrible, terrible internet connection out here in the middle of nowhere where I live in West Virginia. It's really bad internet. Supposed to get fiber later this year, though, so that would be good. But until then, let's see what questions we have here. Hello, I would like to know when you're going to make Premiere Pro tutorials. Yes, that is, I've been working on getting caught up on some stuff And if you guys saw a bunch of YouTube videos come out last week, I was catching up on getting some of that edited. And next thing is YouTube, not YouTube, is Premiere Pro for the course. It's one of the next main things that is coming. So yeah, that's going to be a sizable job to redo the whole sections, editing and color grading sections, but that is coming because I know a lot of you guys edit in Premiere Pro. And we'll probably even have some YouTube content along with that when we launch that new product. Torque says, good evening, good audio and visuals. Thank you. Hello, good evening. Everything seems to work fine. Hello from Fort Myers, Florida. Florida is a great place to fly drones and a lot of pretty stuff down there. I can't wait for the DJI products coming out. Same here. Always fun to see what DJI launches next. Seems like they're cranking them out at an astonishing pace. Like every month or two, there's some new product from DJI. Question, will the dongle be available for the DJI Air 3 in the United States? I assume you're referring to the LTE dongle, so that you can fly your drone unlimited distance with LTE. I do not know. Unfortunately, I'm not to the level yet where DJI sends me all their stuff and lets me know what they're doing, but I haven't seen anything about it, so I don't know if it's coming. I kind of would doubt that it would be coming, or I would think it'd be less likely that it'd be coming here because there isn't really any good setup with the FAA for doing super long range beyond visual line of sight, just miles and miles away. So I'm not sure if it is coming here. It would be kind of cool to see, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. Budwin says, hype about the Air 3S real. I assume is the hype about the Air 3S real. I've seen leaks of it, photos, videos of the drone, so I would say it's real. And I'm pretty sure it's going to have at least a 1-inch sensor on at least one camera. From the looks of it, maybe on both cameras. But no specs have leaked yet, which is a little bit sad. But I'm pretty sure that it's not coming out probably in the next month or so because we still haven't gotten the DJI Neo, is the little drone that's coming out. The little low-end drone that will also fly like an FPV with FPV goggles. And so I'm guessing it's probably going to be October before the Air 3S gets released. And if it was coming out really soon, then we would already probably have specs leaked for it. Camera upgrade necessary. I assume you are asking about for the Air 3S. I would say it's not absolutely necessary, but it will be great because I don't have my Air 3 here, but I love that drone. It's a great drone. Fantastic for everything, but I have to say the footage is not quite as detailed as, for example, the Air 2S. Has that bigger 1-inch sensor and is a lot more detailed. The footage out of it is just like extremely crispy. And the Air 3, when you're cutting it in with, let's say, DSLR footage or mirrorless footage from my, let's say, R6 Mark II, it's 4K 10-bit off a downsampled from a 6K sensor, etc. You can tell it's not quite as crispy. And so I'll be very excited to get Air 3 with a hopefully 1-inch sensor on both cameras. That'd be fantastic to have a 3x telecamera with a 1-inch sensor. If that happens, I will be elated, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen, actually. Let me just check here real quick, see if my excuse me, see if my emails have sent out. Looks like they have sent out emails that we are live here. Alrighty, guys. Are there big differences to get NDs from DJI and KNC Concept? I assume KNF Concept, because I'm on the market to get an ND set. Great question. I have not used KNF Concept filters for drones. I have gotten one of their filters, ND filters, for a camera, variable ND. Variable NDs are a little harder to make than just regular straight NDs. So, and it wasn't quite up to like perfection specs, but it was, you know, pretty decent. And I would say probably their regular ND filters, non-variable NDs, are probably going to be great quality. But again, I haven't used KNF Concept. I know DJI's filters are obviously pretty good, and the ones that I personally use are Freewell filters. I'm not sure exactly which drone you are wanting them for. Excuse me, but I definitely like Freewell filters. They've been very solid. They do a good job. So those are the ones I recommend, is to get the Freewell filters. They're usually cheaper than DJI, and many times they actually have some extra features that DJI ones don't have. So there's that. That's my recommendations for the brand of ND filters. Turn our audio level down a little bit because I think I was clipping the audio. ND filters for the Air 3. Yeah, for the Air 3, I definitely recommend Freewell filters, not DJI filters, not KNF Concept filters, because the Freewell filters, they have this split ND pack that has a different ND strength for the telecamera and the wide-angle camera, which those two cameras have different apertures, so they let different amounts of light in, so you'll have different exposures if you're wanting to have the same shutter speed with both. Whereas the split ND filters, they have different filter strengths for each camera, and so they even out the exposure between those two cameras, and that's really great. I would recommend, there's a video on my channel, it's called something like the best ND filters for the Air 3. Go check that out. It will answer your questions of which ones to get. Those are the ones I recommend, and that explains everything, exactly what they do, how they're different. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Looking forward to the Air 4. Yep. I think it actually might be called the Air 3S. I mean, maybe you're thinking the entire next generation Air 4. But either way, it's going to be awesome. If I keep swatting things around in here, it's because there are fruit flies in here. I walked into the studio to get everything set up, and there were fruit flies just covering everything because we store some winter squash, actually right here under my desk, some winter squash from our farm, from our garden, and one of them decided to rot, and so I've got a bunch of fruit flies in here that I haven't managed to swat yet, so I've been swatting those away. D-Log M is go-to video setting for CapCut or DaVinci. Yeah, great question. D-Log M is what I recommend for being able to color grade footage. I have not used CapCut, unfortunately. So I am not sure what level of color grading tools it has. I think you can add LUTs in CapCut, so you should be able to grade D-Log footage in CapCut. I'm just not sure, you know, how much flexibility it gives you. But for DaVinci Resolve, definitely you want to shoot D-Log M, or you can get away with hybrid log gamma as well. And I actually have shot quite a bit of footage on the Air 3 in hybrid log gamma. Only problem is the Air 3, it has this weird phenomenon where weird thing it does with hybrid log gamma, where it will change from being really contrasty to being less contrasty as you change what's in the shot. So for example, if you have the horizon in the sky and the ground in the shot, and then you're tilting down over a subject, so you're just looking at the ground, it will, excuse me, it will all of a sudden lose a whole bunch of contrast, and that's not a good thing. I don't really like that. So I have kind of been now going back to shooting D-Log, even though it takes a little bit more work to color grade than hybrid log gamma. So pros and cons, but definitely D-Log M is what I recommend. Yeah, not sure on CapCut. Maybe I should check it out and make a YouTube video on how to color grade in CapCut, but I'm sure that the tools are probably a lot harder to work with to get good results than DaVinci. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Any other questions in here? Do you have LUTs for sale or for free? I actually do have LUTs for sale. And I also have a free LUT pack that just has a few of my LUTs in it. Let me actually, got some bugs here. Let me actually grab the link to that. Well, sorry guys, just a sec. I will get you both. I have a mini LUT pack that is free, as well as a full paid LUT pack with 20 LUTs. 20 LUTs? I think it's 20 LUTs. Anyway, it's $20 for the full pack of LUTs, and the free LUTs are obviously free. So I'll drop a link to both of that here in just 1 second once I grab it. Let's see here. So guys, here is the paid LUT pack with 15 different LUTs in it. I think I may have actually added a couple more since then. Anyway, there's at least 15 in there. There is the link to that. That's my full LUT pack right there. And in just 1 second, I will get the free LUT pack, and all of you can download the free LUT pack at least and start playing around with it. And then if you want to get the full LUT pack, then feel free to do that as well. And of course, my whole LUT pack and all of that is included in the Flying Filmmaker course, which is on sale right now. Instead of $299, it is on sale for $179, and that is where I teach everything about how to color grade your shots, edit them, how to shoot them, all of that good stuff. But in the meantime, here is the free LUT pack. We'll get that up in just a second. Internet's just a little slow here. Alrighty, there is the free LUT pack. And guys, sort of the whole point of the paid course, where I have all of the content, is it's not just some random video here and there on YouTube that you have to go looking around all over the place, but it's condensed all into just what you need to know in a nice organized fashion. It can save you a ton of time to not just have to go by trial and error and sorting through long, somewhat useful YouTube videos. It's just all condensed there. It can help you make your videos stand out from, thousands of other drone pilots. Basically anybody can fly a drone these days, but not very many people actually have the skills to get really, really, really good cinematic shots. So if you want to stand out, if you're trying to grow a following, or if you're trying to start a drone business, you'll want to get those really professional level shots that will make you stand out. And that's what the course is for. And it is on sale again, 40% off. Flyingfilmmakersale.com. Also leave that link down in the description. And looks like we've got a couple more questions here. Let me just put this 40% off Flying Filmmaker. Drop that link, and then we'll get back to answering questions. Doesn't look like that made it a link. There we go. All right, here's the link that should take you to the sale if any of you want to check that out and get 40% off. And again, that ends at midnight Eastern time tonight. So about 3.5 hours left for that. Alrighty, guys. Toriko says, it is interesting that the hybrid log gamma has problems on the Air 3, albeit due to update. Maybe it's due to update. So I think it's just a function of what they're doing with hybrid log gamma. I think it's kind of they didn't execute the feature very well, but it. So what they're doing in hybrid log gamma is they're basically doing a dual gain on the sensor. So they're reading it at both a lower gain and a higher gain, and then taking different parts of the image at higher gain and lower gain. So like use lower gain in the sky, higher gain on the ground, and kind of HDRing it to start with, which creates really nice results. The only problem is they don't lock in the contrast and brightness of that at the beginning of the shot. I think if they would just lock it in when you start the shot, it's locked in, it's not going to change. That would fix it. It would be awesome. DJI, if you watch this, please do that. But as it is, that's not the case. So it's a good idea executed a little bit poorly. And it's not due to the update. It was that way from like I got the Air 3 like as soon as it was released back a year ago. It's been that way ever since then. I was hoping they would fix it in an update, but they didn't. Rye Guy Rocky says, I have a DJI Mavic Mini Fly More combo I'm trying to sell. Is there any websites you recommend selling it on? Great question. Yes, eBay. That's where I've sold stuff. I don't know if I necessarily would say I recommend it particularly. You have to be careful. You have to know eBay terms and conditions, but I've sold drones on there, other camera gear I didn't want anymore on there, and it definitely can work well. Facebook Marketplace can also work. I haven't really done Facebook Marketplace because I don't really like to have to, meet people for it and everything. It takes too long, but that can work as well. Or you can just sell it to a site like MPB or B&H Used or KEH Used Photo Pro, some of those sites like that. Now you won't get as much for it if you sell it on one of those sites because they have to make a profit to resell it, but it's a lot less hassle than having to list it and sell it yourself. One tip for selling on eBay, take really good photos of it. As good as you can. Use any photography skills you possibly have to get professional looking photos of it. Helps to sell it and sell it for more. Let's see, what other questions here I have. Okay, that's the same comment. Budwin says, do you do in-person training? Great question. Something I would love to do. I have not gotten in-person training up and running yet, but I would actually like to do some like drone tours or like drone workshops, in-person drone video workshops. There's some beautiful areas here in West Virginia, in the mountains of West Virginia, that's within a few hours drive of a lot of big cities on the East Coast, DC, even Baltimore. It's that whole area. It's within-ish driving distance of. So I'd love to do some in-person drone workshops, actually get to show you guys in person how to do some of this stuff. And even like also have in-person editing with that. Could, go shoot in the morning and evening, show editing in between. But so far, I haven't gotten around to doing that. It's a bit of logistics to make all that work. So yeah, at this point, I don't do in-person drone training, but it's something that hopefully we'll get to at some point. Idea to do virtual in-person training. That would be an idea to do virtual stuff as well. I've thought about doing that, kind of like doing one-on-one coaching for people and stuff like that. Haven't done that either, but haven't done it at least as major product. But if you guys want specific coaching on a certain thing, editing, color grading, whatever, hit me up. John@flyingfilmmakerpro.com is the email address if you want something like that. Anyhow, thank you for the free LUTs. You are very, very welcome. Have fun with them. They're actually a little bit old. There's another one that I did recently. Let me see if I can find that one for you guys. Might as well give you guys as many things to download as you can while we're at it on the stream here. As much value as possible. Alright, here is the... This is just one single LUT, but one that I quite like. And it is... it has both a log and normal version. So we're going to drop that in the chat as well. Well, where is my live stream? Here's my live stream. Boom. There you go. Another free LUT to download. Have fun with them. And of course, one thing I should mention is LUTs are not all there is to color grading. You can't just throw a LUT on and expect things to magically look better. Or they will look better, but to magically get like the full results that you see, maybe some of the grade wipes in my videos, you're not going to magically get that just with LUTs. There's more techniques that go into that. That's what I teach in my Drone Color Pro course, which is also included in the full course. So there's a lot of things that go into that. And there's actually also some tutorials on my channel if you want to check that out for a little bit more of what goes into color grading. All right, Rocky says, thanks, you are very much welcome. No Guy 31, what do you recommend to get out of using auto and use the pro mode in DJI drones? Have a bit of anxiety in messing up the shot. It's a great question. What I recommend is that you get my course, and in the course I teach you everything about it. Exactly how to get out of auto and into pro mode. That is the short answer. The long answer is, also, if you don't want to get the full course, but you still want some of that, I have a $27 mini course that gives you just the most essential basics. Just go to flyingfilmmakerpro.com and it is linked there on the homepage where you can get that. $27, and it gets you 7 days, 7 topics, one each day, and that should get you started. Something for free. On my YouTube channel, there's a video for the best settings for the Air 3. It is for the Air 3, but it applies to a lot of other drones, and that also kind of gives you a little bit more quick, a little bit less in-depth, but nonetheless an explanation of what the different settings do. What I would recommend is, though, if you're afraid of messing up the shot, just fly sometime when you're not getting a super important shot. Like, don't go to some location that you've really wanted to go to and you traveled a ways to and whatever. Just fly in your backyard or wherever the closest place you can fly is. Just take off with the drone, switch into pro mode, play around with it, pull the footage off, put it on your computer, see what it looks like. Gotta get my little 3D printed logo back here. Anyway, see what it looks like, and repeat that. You can just figure out a lot of stuff with trial and error if you have the time, but definitely just try it out when you're not under pressure to get the shot perfect. Is the tutorial about composing clips in the video course like timing for each shoot and composing with sounds and small details? I assume what you mean is like editing. Yes, I teach editing. Definitely go into that in the course. I have a whole editing section with a whole bunch of lessons. I show you how to do it in Resolve. I show you how I have my, I'm not sure how many it is, I think it's 10 or 12 keys to editing cinematic drone videos. Basically go through a lot of the things that people miss of like how to trim your clips, how to cut them to music, how to time it all so that it so that it flows well together, because I see so many people, they just do stuff like jump cuts, or they don't trim their clips properly, or they don't sequence their clips in such a way that the motion flows between the clips. You want to sort of connect. You don't have to always do it this way, but sometimes it works really well to have several clips one after another with similar motions. You're moving one way, moving the same way in each of the clips. How to speed ramp clips, how to do transitions, all that kind of stuff, how to find music, edit to music, even cut the songs together to make them work. I have some stuff on sound design to sort of show how I build out in some of my videos, some of that stuff. Yeah. So all that stuff, that and a lot more, is in there. And for timing each shoot, I assume you mean like timing each shot on the timeline, how long to do it for. I definitely have that as well. It obviously depends on the type of video you're making. If you're doing a really fast-paced edit, it sort of depends on the music that you choose. If you have a really fast-paced edit, you'll need to have shorter duration of clips. And if you're having a more slow flowing edit, like if you watch the intro to this, that was just like really long shots, 15, 30 seconds. I usually don't do them that long, but for this, that worked quite well. Anyway, that's all in there. As far as timing the shoot, if you mean what time of day to shoot, how to plan shoots, that's also in the course. So it's all in there. All right. Any other questions, guys? We're here to answer your questions. No Guy 31 says, cool, thanks. Yes, I have the Air 3 myself. Then definitely check out the Air 3 settings video, because it will get you a long ways towards cinematic shots. And there's also an Air 3 settings checklist with that video. You can download the checklist as well. And guys, while I'm at it, I keep dropping links for you in the chat, but might as well while we're here. If any of you are interested in that 7-day drone filmmaking challenge for just $27, starter course to get you up and running as fast as possible, boom, there's the link. You can check it out if that's something that you are interested in. All right, Torco says, sounds good, thanks. I haven't reached there, the first steps so far. Just thinking about how to get physical notes and make description. Not entirely sure if I'm understanding what you're saying. How to get physical notes and make a description. If you're thinking like for the shoot, like how to plan and get notes on what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. How to plan out a shoot, how to script it, find locations. That's also all included in the course. Yep. Oh, I see what you're saying, like to compose your shots and make a point of the shots. Yep. Definitely. I have a whole thing on composing your shots, how to frame them up, all that good stuff. Okay, plan. Yep, that stuff. Got planning, composition. Basically everything you need to know to shoot cinematic drone videos. That's sort of our tagline. And yeah, that's all included. All right, guys, any other questions about drones, editing, color grading, how to shoot video with drones, anything? Here to answer the questions. What time is it? 8:34 already. And one other thing that I will mention is that you want to make sure that you are, as far as different, it was mentioned a little bit earlier, different color grading modes, not color grading modes, different color modes on DJI drones. You want to, if you have no clue at all how to color grade, you'll probably want to stick to hybrid log gamma and normal color profile mode. On the Air 3 Mini 4 Pro, normal color profile isn't too bad. It's definitely not as good as hybrid log gamma and log, but it's not too bad. So, but I would definitely check out, I would definitely stick to those two modes, hybrid log gamma and normal color profile mode, if you don't know how to color grade, because D-Log is actually going to look worse if you don't know what you're doing. So just a note there. Jackson V Films. What's up, Jackson? How are you doing? Have you heard any cool leaks on upcoming DJI drones? Yeah, I was just talking about that a minute ago. There's going to be basically a scaled down Avata with prop guards on it, fully covered enclosed props, 135 grams, legal to fly over crowds of people, compatible with the FPV goggles and also being sold as just bundle for content, like, you know, influencers, content creators, whoever wants to, just people who want to film themselves for fun. Nice cheap drone, but it's also going to be, I think, great for FPV. So really looking forward to that. Budwin just got the $27 course. Looking forward to making my drone videos better. Way to go. You got the right thing, and that will help you to make your drone videos better. There's a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of good content, and also a lot of bonuses that will help you. All the LUTs are in there as well, actually. So yeah, that will get you off to a great start. Letty says, what do you recommend as for music? Great question. There's a few different places you can get your music from. There's some different free sites. Pond5 has a few free clips. Where else? Pixabay, maybe. But those, they have fairly limited selection, and there's different things. Sometimes you have to put credit in the videos and all this kind of stuff, which, especially if you're doing videos for clients or anything, doesn't look super professional. So where I get all my music it's called artlist.com. Artlist.com. I'll actually put a link in here. Boy, am I the king of links today. Let me just drop a link in here where if you guys do sign up for Artlist, you actually get a couple months extra for free. And they are my favorite platform for licensing music. They're really the only one that I use regularly. I've tried some others. Artlist is the one I come back to. They have a pretty big catalog of music. Let me just look on their site here at their pricing, because I do not remember what it is exactly, but they're not that expensive, especially if you're just doing web content. And they have really flexible licensing model. So if you download it, everything that you download, even if you cancel the subscription, you get to keep it after you download it. And their basic plan here is, let's see, well, it won't load. Their basic plan that has both music and sound effects, that's another nice thing that they have, which is basically you can use it for social media, is $10 a month, $9.99 a month. And then for more general stuff where you can do client work, paid ads, broadcast and TV with everything, is $16 a month. And then if you go on up to their they have one that's $40 a month, which is actually the plan that I'm on, which also gives you stock footage, which is really great. They have a nice library of stock footage, sound effects, motion graphics templates, which I use. They're super nice. For certain things, they work well. Like I did a wedding video recently. Nice motion graphics for the intro. Yeah. So those are super, super nice. And they have a pretty good library of music. I really don't have any complaints. I mean, with any music site, you eventually start to run to the edges, but they're always adding stuff. So yeah, that's where I get my music from. Long answer. This is an affiliate link, but guys, I have affiliate links to the other music licensing sites too. And the ones I don't have affiliate links, I could get affiliate links to, but these are the guys that I personally used. I used them long before I had an affiliate link with them. I've used them for years and years and years, and they're just the ones that I use. So that's what I recommend. Is the Avata 2 not able to fly over people? It is able to fly over people, certainly. I mean, it's just that technically in the US, you're not supposed to fly over people with a drone that weighs more than 250 grams. Or, well, you aren't supposed to fly over people, like over crowds of people at least. uninvolved persons, unless you have a drone that is under 250 grams, which would be like a mini, which again I don't have right here, a mini drone, but it not only has to be under 250 grams, it also has to have the cage around the propellers, which currently there's no DJI drones that satisfy that. Now, do I know very many drone pilots who have never flown over people? Probably not. But technically, you're not supposed to fly over people unless you have one that is really light and has enclosed props. So yeah, and FPV pilots that like film concerts and stuff like that, they go to huge ends to build little FPV drones that have a nice, decent camera on them, and have and are under 250 grams and have enclosed props. But now you'll just be able to get it from DJI, all in a nice little package. So yeah, that is the whole thing about the Avata. Torco, nice tip on the color grade. I was thinking, as a photographer who edits photos, how hard is it to transition to video editing software? It's not super easy. It depends on the video editing software, but especially something more professional like Resolve. The controls are a little bit different. Now, some of the controls actually might not be too hard. Like curves, tone curves are going to be exactly the same from Lightroom, Photoshop, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut, Premiere. It's all the same. Now, some of the stuff like maybe and then also you do have like contrast, highlights and shadows, split toning stuff. Now, some stuff like HSL, instead of having like the little sliders in Lightroom, you're going to have HSL curves that you use. So slightly different. That's why in the course I break it all down so it all makes sense. But of course you can also just find it on YouTube if you want to snoop around and find all that the slow way. But yeah, so I would say it's pretty easy. The basic concepts are the same, but there's also some concepts that are different. Like for example, in photos, you can just, paint a little mask on your image in this area and it's fine because the image isn't moving. Now in video, it's not that simple because stuff is moving in your shot, and so you've got to figure out how to track a mask to that if you want to mask something out. Very possible to mask stuff out, but just a little more complicated. So yeah, it's pretty similar, just a little bit different tools. And actually some, like Lumetri Color in, Premiere, is probably a hair bit more similar to Lightroom than in Resolve. But I personally feel like it doesn't do. I've been playing around with it some as I've been working on getting ready to do the Premiere section of the course, and it's just not quite as powerful. The controls don't do quite what I would expect them to do. So, yeah. And I will say, that's just from the color grading side of things. There's a whole other side of video editing of like cutting the clips together, sequencing them, making them flow, stabilizing footage, speed ramping, adding effects, transitions, all this kind of stuff. Video editing does basically, I should say photo editing does basically nothing to prepare you for that. Photo editing is basically color grading your photos. So video editing, the editing side, is kind of a whole nother skill set, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. It will be a little bit of a learning curve, but definitely doable. All right. I do not see any more questions here. Guys, drop some more questions in the chat. We're having a good time here. Or maybe you guys aren't. I hope you guys are having a good time here, learning something in the process of everything. Also, Jackson, one other thing you're asking about upcoming DJI drones. The Air 3S is coming too, which is basically Air 3 with bigger sensors on it. And, oh guys, one thing I didn't mention about the Air 3 back close to the beginning is that it looks like it is going to have a new sensor in the front. Most DJI drones have two little sensors here. This is the Air 2, ancient thing, Mavic Air 2. It's when they still had Mavic before the Air. Anyway, Mavic Air 2. And so it has little fisheye sensors here, but the Mavic Air 3, or I should say the Air 3S, has a little black patch right here, another sensor, which is probably some kind of LiDAR or time of flight sensor, which is probably going to add a whole nother level of upgrade to the obstacle avoidance. So I'm really looking forward to the Air 3S. I'm probably going to get one as soon as it comes out and make some content on it. We'll see. Never know what DJI will hatch next, but in any general video composition planning advice. Yeah. It's a little bit hard to explain without being able to show B-roll on the live stream, but one thing is to split your image into thirds, about like so. Let's see, where are we here? Thirds, well, I'm getting below my computer, but roughly into 1/3, 1/3, and then 1/3, 1/3 like this. And then put important parts of your shot on those horizontal and vertical thirds lines. You can put your horizon here on the horizontal thirds lines, either on the top thirds line if you want to emphasize the ground more, or on the bottom thirds line if you want to emphasize the sky more. And then you can put subjects like on the intersection of those thirds lines, and that will make your composition look a lot more engaging. It's actually based off of a Fibonacci number sequence and golden ratios. Some fancy mathematics behind that. It's an approximation of that, but it just makes things look visually pleasing. And then another thing is leading lines. Look for lines that converge toward the center of the shot. Another tip for composition, try to have a subject, a clear subject in your shot, and try to make sure there's not things like right over here. See, if this was like right here, half cut off in the edge of the shot, that looks kind of distracting. You want to kind of watch the edges of your frame and have a clear subject. See, like I'm right here in the frame. If it was just a bunch of stuff like this, that's not nearly as interesting as if you have a subject in the frame. And so, you know, put a car, a person, something in your shot, makes it a lot more interesting if you can. So that's a couple tips. Planning tips. Google Maps is a great planning tool. Google Earth. Locationscout.net, I think it's .net. Locationscout.net is a great resource if you're going to somewhere where you don't go, where you aren't familiar with, or even if you are familiar with, especially more touristy photography areas. You can find photo spots on there. They're just photo spots, not drone spots, but usually good photo spots are often good drone spots. Then check the airspace, search if you can fly your drone there. Many times, like if there's a park or something you can't fly your drone in, you can fly your drone outside the park and get similar landscapes nearby. So yeah, those are some of my tips for planning stuff. And also sometimes I'll just shoot whatever I get access to, whatever I see along the way. Sometimes I have a bit more of a plan, certain shots scripted out or just sort of shot listed. A couple videos in the course sort of showing how I've done that. But yeah, you know, just put down on paper, okay, this cool shot, then this cool shot that you think of. All right. Thanks, answer. See your results. It's a course. Sounds good. Catch you on Q&A. Thanks for joining. Bud and I have problems coming up with ideas for good shots. Not boring. Yeah. That is always something to keep in mind. You don't want to just have all the same boring shots. Check out my 10 drone moves video on my YouTube channel if you haven't already watched that video. It's one of the last 3 videos. Check that out. That's exactly the thing. You want to have not boring drone moves, and that gives you 10 ideas. I also have a video of 12 essential drone moves, and that will give you some more ideas. And something that I personally like to do beyond just, certain drone moves, more just like creative inspiration, is I'll go and watch great drone videos from other drone pilots, other creators. DJIs, of course, their launch videos and subsequent follow-up videos that they make, have different creators make, are great places to go for inspiration. And just there's different creators online who do a good job with drone shots, and don't just like watch through the video and be like, oh, that's cool that they made the video, but like pause it, even go back, rewatch a shot and say, what was it about this shot that made me, why was that a cool shot? What kind of movement were they doing? How did they compose it? What kind of subject was in there? What are the colors like? Actually analyze shots like that, especially sort of the composition and movement of the shots, and that will help you a lot in getting ideas. And then go out and try to get a couple of those ideas, even write some of those ideas down. Go out, try them out, and then you can figure out, did I get it close to that? And if you did, then you sort of have, and even if you didn't get it exactly the way that it was in the video that you watched, you just sort of have another concept of something in your head to try. So yeah, that's usually what I do. And also another tip for planning, if you're going to a location, I'll often search drone videos for that location. You just put in like, when I was going to Slovenia drone videos. And you'll get some videos and you can get some inspiration, both locations and cool shots to get from there. Torque, but is it true for videos that sound is 50% of the work and has to have small details, for example, flying birds and car sounds? Yes, it is true. It's not 50% of the work, though. It depends. Now, if you're doing a narrative video, like a short film or a whole, movie, the audio is going to be a lot of the work because it's being entirely scored, full sound effects for every single scene, dialogue, a lot of work. For just a drone video, no, it's not half the work. You can actually get away with making a drone video just cutting it to the music. That works. Now, if you want to have an even more immersive experience, make the best video, you definitely want to add sound design. And you can just pull sound design from various places online, like Artlist is a great place to get sound effects. Of course, there's lots of other places as well. So you just have to find some of those sound effects, like you said in here, flying birds and car sounds. If you watch, like, for example, my Air 3 Something Better video, it's kind of a spec ad I did with the Air 3. Go check that out and listen to some of the shots, like where there's a car or a bird flying, and you'll hear some of those like wing flap sounds, gravel crunching sounds. So yes, it does make a difference, and you can also add kind of some whooshes in there for transitions and all this kind of stuff. That definitely will enhance your video. I wouldn't say it's nearly 50% of the work. Now, audio is, I would say, 50% of the viewing experience. That might be what you've heard. That's over half of the viewing experience. And I would say that's actually true, especially for things that have dialogue in them. But it's not 50, for drone videos, not 50% of the work by a long shot. And also, it depends on the kind of video you're making. Like, for a real estate video, let's say, you might throw in some bird sounds for, like, the opening drone shot. But you don't need to throw in, a bunch of sound effects, except for maybe some whooshes for some speed ramps or something. It's not worth it for a real estate video. But if you're trying to make, like, top quality, cinematic, cool video, sound effects are going to give it that extra layer of immersion and really sell it. So yeah, oh, and one other thing is you can actually add voiceovers to your drone videos. And one thing the Artlist has, you can of course just get somebody online to voice over it or try to voice over it yourself or whatever. But one cool thing the Artlist just added to their music subscription is what am I thinking? Oh yeah, it's a AI voiceover tool. And you might think, oh, AI voiceover. It's not like these TikTok AI voiceovers that sound like terrible. It's not like that. They have like a bunch of different voices, and some of them actually sound pretty good. I'm actually surprised how good they sound. They kind of sound like a voiceover-y voice, and so you can use those to add some voiceovers to your videos. So, and that can, take things up a notch as well. Budwin, slow motion looks promising. I need practice with that. Yeah, slow motion is really cool. The one thing with slow motion is you want to have something fast happening that you can slow down. Now, sometimes you might just have a drone shot that's not long enough and you just slow it down. But if you just slow down a typical drone shot, many times drone shots are too slow, not too fast. It's nice to have the option to slow it down, but generally, if you're going to slow something down, you want something that's happening fast, like maybe a car going fairly fast with dust billowing out behind it, someone jumping into the water, splash, a bird taking off, some kind of an animal running. You gotta have something that actually looks cool in slow motion rather than just using slow motion for everything. Someone jumping across a gap or running in slow motion. Stuff like that looks cool in slow motion. So yeah, use it, but use it intelligently. Use it somewhat sparingly. If everything's slow motion, becomes a little boring. Letty says, I think you should set up Super Chat. I love your tips and feedback. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. I probably should set up Super Chat. But, guys, if you want to give me a Super Chat, I'll tell you what you do. Just go to my website and you can get a LUT pack or a starter course. And you'll have the same effect as giving me a Super Chat, except YouTube takes less of a cut and you actually get something. Instead of just giving a little Super Chat there, you can actually get some LUTs to play with or a super useful 7-day drone filmmaking challenge starter course. So, but I probably should turn on Super Chat. I just don't live stream that much. This is the first time I've live streamed in over a year. Anyway, yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad that you guys or that you specifically are enjoying the content and finding it helpful. All right, wow, we've already gone an hour here. That is impressive. I didn't even know that. Where are we at here? I've been going for roughly an hour. Well, guys, I don't particularly have to get off yet. So if you guys have any more questions, drop them in the chat there. Otherwise, we are probably going to wrap it up here fairly-ish soon. Yep, thanks for joining, guys. We are not going to end quite yet. We're going to start thinking about winding it down. Again, guys, if you want to improve your drone videos a lot, stand out from the thousands of drone pilots out there, hundreds of drone pilots, even my nephews that are like 10 years old, they can fly these drones. So if you want to stand out, you gotta know how to actually use them well, not just put them in the air and hit the record button. So flyingfilmmakersale.com, 40% off the course. I'm just running that sale for 5 days and happens to be ending tonight. So if you're interested in that, Torco, lots of good tips and many good thoughts. Glad it's helpful. Glad it's helpful. Did you graduate from filmmaking is some of the tips have terminology like B-roll and other things. No, I do not have any degree in it. I have learned by the school of, I don't know what you call it, the school of doing it, basically. And of course, learned from others who were doing it, learned from just a lot of trial and error. And yeah, I've had some people who I got to know, other filmmakers who helped me figure stuff out and learn stuff. So yeah, that's how I've learned. And some of those tips of terminology like B-roll and stuff like that, it's just something that you kind of pick up as you get into this world. Do I have a sheet for that kind of terminology? I don't actually. Yeah, I haven't done that specifically. Might be a good idea to do. But a lot of those things, you just quick Google search and you'll figure out what B-roll is. A-roll is me talking right here. B-roll is clips that you put over top of things. Like if I had a separate shot of, a detail shot of this drone that I overlaid on top of things, that's B-roll. Anyway, I have not gone to film school, but I've just learned by actually creating content. Yep. And guys, one of the next videos that we're going to be coming out with on the channel is going to be seeing if I can make a cinematic drone video with a $139 drone. Some random drone company wanted to send me this cheap drone. I was like, okay, you can send me, I knew it wasn't going to be a super great drone. You can send me the drone, but I'm going to make whatever video I want with it. So, yeah, you'll have to watch the video when it comes out to see if we got a good video with it. But we put it through some stuff. It's an interesting video. Let's put it that way. And it's about what you get for a $139 drone. Anyway. So that'll be one of our next videos. Do you do other pro drone business outside of training? So actually, I have not gotten into like doing real estate and stuff like that. It's actually something that I'm wanting to start real estate in the area here, sort of doing a real estate video agency thing. But I do video production generally with drones included, just sort of as a B-roll gathering tool, to use fancy terms, just as getting extra footage for it. I do general video production of all kinds of video content, from documentary stuff to weddings, just shooting training videos for clients, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I do video production as well. But my main focus outside of YouTube is not just drones. I do a lot more than just drones. So, yep. All right. Let's look. Where's our stream? Pull it back up here. Got 6 of you left. Thank you to the 6 of you for sticking around until the very end. If we don't get any more questions here in the next few seconds, we are going to wrap up this live stream. Thank you to everyone for joining. Great to have you guys here. And we may have to do this again. It's fun to get on a stream and answer the questions of the YouTube audience. We ride or die. Yeah, there we go. But do you have other channels? Actually not. Well, I do, but none that are very good channels or like have very focused content. I have a personal channel that just has random videos I've made from different events, family retreats I've gone to. Has some, I play piano, so it has some actually Christian songs, hymns that I've played, and, you know, put nature videos, drone footage over. Random stuff like that. But I don't have any other, like, good, serious channels. I want to start some other channels, but right now I kind of have my hands full. But yeah, at some point, I have another channel in mind that I want to start. Hopefully that will get started in the next few months. But at this point, I don't really have any other real channels. It's, you would not, I think most people who just watch YouTube content probably don't realize the amount of hours that go behind a YouTube video, especially a, 10, 15 minute, 20 minute YouTube video, the hours of production, scripting, shooting, editing the content that goes into that. So you can only do so much unless you have a whole team behind you, which I don't have a whole YouTube content team quite yet. We'll get to that point at some point, and then we'll have a dozen channels. Or not, we'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining in on this stream. Oh, here we go. It's a great idea. Do you have such things in the course? I saw some, but haven't seen scheduled Q&A live, or maybe we don't see them. Yeah, in the course, I have every other week. I do a live Q&A. I just do it on Zoom, actually Google Meet, because that works better for what we need. And so I just jump on there, and everyone else can join, and we just answer your questions. You can actually submit your videos, and I will break them down. What is good, what could be done better, give feedback, and yeah, have a good time with those. Answer questions more in depth. I can pull up my screen, share my screen, and give tips on, show stuff live, etc., etc. Yep. So let me check chat over here. Don't see any more questions specifically. Well, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. Torco says, thank you for your work and effort. You made me believe in the Air 3, but with proper training will work well. Maybe I can achieve my dreams. Thanks again. Yes, you can do it. You can get great results with your Air 3. It's a fully capable drone. You can run a great drone business even just with that drone. It is fully capable, high quality stuff. So whatever you want to do, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. You need to build a NAS to hold all these videos. Yeah, that is one thing that you run into, is storage space. I have, you probably can't see it on the stream. There, you can see it. I've got quite a few of these little SanDisk SSDs. This is a 4 terabyte. I keep having to get more of them. Drone video, YouTube content, all goes on those drives. Client projects, got so many hard drives, SSDs. It's not even funny. Yeah, that's one of the things that happens when you start shooting video, producing content. But it's worth it. All right. Let me look at my notes here to see if there's anything that I'm forgetting that I should mention on here. I don't see anything else that I should mention. So, since we have run out of questions and we are already a few minutes over an hour, I think I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks again. Great to have you guys here, and hopefully you got a lot of good value out of this. And yeah, until next time, whenever that is, have fun, keep flying, happy flying, keep on flying, keep creating, and God bless, and we'll see you in the next stream or the next YouTube video, because the next YouTube video will probably